you know what, SAP has a CRM too, and which one would you prefer, Siebel or SAP CRM? And I was like, what is the comparison? There is another company called as Salesforce.com. It became a competitor too. Okay, it's a pretty small company, but it is considered a competitor of Siebel. It is a competitor of Siebel. It's a pretty small company. Partnerships grew. They have even more. They became very big. Their number of certified consultants was there were a number of all these independent. There are so many independent consultants, who took this thing, training of Siebel. Okay, then Desi consulting companies. Everybody had a shop. Everybody wanted to open a Siebel shop. I was hired by so many companies in those days, 2002, 2003, to train their guys in Siebel. I did so many trainings at that time. Okay, so Siebel 7.5.2 had web client. There were some other major changes done. I'm gonna put those major changes. You wouldn't understand them now, but still you will. They are very important for you to know that this is when it was done. Okay, there is a thing called as party model. Siebel party model was introduced at this point. It is chapter 16 in your videos. You will learn about party model. This party model was introduced in 2002. The first version where it was introduced was in Siebel 7. Employee table was eliminated. Okay, these are some of the big things that people started talking about. They used to talk about these things a lot. Main thing is web. If somebody says, hey, what is the difference between Siebel 7 and Siebel 6? If you say, hey, you know what, main thing is party model and web client. These are the two main things I see. Just as you say that, you are done. You should know. So down the line, you definitely need to know what is party model. Down the line, you need to understand what is web client. Okay. Main thing I want you to catch is my thought and the versions and how Siebel has been rolling out. Main thing, some of the things is in other cases 8 is more important. In Siebel, in case of Siebel, subversion number is very important too. 7.5 was very different from 7.0. Okay, so these are some of the things that one must notice. Web client. I'm think something else might come to my mind. I'll put it here. What all major features of Siebel 7 were. Right. Differences. This to also call it. This used to be also called as zero footprint client. It's a very interesting name. You will learn more about this zero footprint client in chapter 4 and chapter 5. That's when you will understand why it is called a zero footprint client. Okay, and all right. In April 2004, Siebel 7.7 was launched. See, 7.7 was very different from 7.5. And in those 2 years, that was the first major version that came out. Very important thing, Siebel 7.5.2 is it was very unstable. It was very hit. It was a very big hit, but it was very unstable also. Very slow. There were so many problems in that. Okay, and some of the patches that they released, especially I can tell you what there was a patch called as patch 212 of Siebel 7.5 became quite famous as it made the systems crash. This is important historical detail, right? If you say you have been working in Siebel for 6 years, you should know these small things. Yeah. I'm not saying somebody will come and catch your collar and say, tell me what was patch 212. I agree. In general discussions it comes on and you should be knowing things.
More confidence as well as
yes.
And one thing. So as you kindly written that.
Sure. It used to crash.
Okay. Yeah. Crash.
It used to crash.
Okay.
And Siebel used not to run properly. It used to hang a lot. That's
okay.
unstable.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. And some, like, let's say you are doing you're uploading the lists. List will not get uploaded properly. It will hang. You have to kill the server and you have to restart the server. That's instability. Okay. All of a sudden, the response time will become too much that it will just hang. Then you will click on the create button. Siebel will evaporate. Okay. So it is slow and instability. They are kind of similar thing, but it is so slow that it doesn't work. So that's instability. Okay. Siebel 7.7 was introduced in April 2004. Somewhere before that, it's a working knowledge that you need to have. I do not know the exact scientific date when it was launched, and I guess it is a totally not an important detail. Important detail is you should try to understand like the thought process and the kind of feeling of the history. You see, to work with to drive a good Honda car, you don't need to know when Honda Accord was this thing, but you should know a little bit. Right? When was Honda Accord's recent 2007 model was launched? We do not know, but we know that it has been launched, and we know things about it. So this is just it is all working knowledge you need to have about this thing. Main thing was it became little fast. That was some things. It had all the same good features, web client and all that. They also changed a few things, like they actually changed the address table. I'm sorry, change the address table. Addresses are stored in some specific table in Siebel. For some reasons they changed it. Okay, main thing that they did was they also added view link bar. Okay, there was one problem in Siebel 7.5 called as this back button of Internet Explorer. This back button of Internet Explorer used not to work. Used not to work in case of Siebel 7.5. It used not to work. In Siebel 7.7 they started making it work. So they started they basically made some small big changes. Okay, it was a big major problem because people while using Siebel, they used to click on this quite easily, and it used not to work. It used to make Siebel hang, unstable, and Siebel used to crash immediately. But only on the client side, not on the server side. Still, it is a big deal. You're working and all of a sudden everything closes. You don't like it, right? Let's say you're working here and this Excel just closes. You won't like it, right? Without saving anything, that will be big deal, right? So it used to be a pretty big deal. I'm not worrying about address, spelling mistakes and all that. Okay. They also introduced something called as, this is a major technical change, workflow in tools. Previously, workflows used to be in, workflow designer in tools. Previously, workflow designer used to be in client. Still in all these versions. In all these versions, workflow used to be in client. Workflow designer. Down the line, you will know what is workflow designer. Then you will know, oh, okay, so this is the one which was launched in Siebel 2000 in April 04 in Siebel 7.7. 7.7 was quite a big hit, and it was immediately absorbed by some companies like all the major clients like Cisco. Okay, so and one more thing, in 7.5.2, 6 to 7.5, it used to be called as a major upgrade. Why? Because Siebel had to be, so there was like some very big upgrade projects. So even today, if somebody has Siebel 6 and he wants to upgrade it to 7, these are called as upgrade projects, and they are like 9 months project, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year projects, and they are very complex projects. So you need to know that there used to be something called as upgrade projects, and there are still some upgrade projects going on. Like I know that Abbott Labs is doing an upgrade project right now as we are talking. It's Apple
6 to 7.
Yes. Siebel upgrading upgrading Siebel is like a big deal. Let's say you are using Test Director and you want to use now Test Director 7. You think it's a big deal? It's not a big deal. They just simply, they can do it in 2 days, 2 or 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 10 days. If you're using Microsoft Word, you just uninstall and install the new upgraded version. But in case of Siebel, it is not easy. So we'll see why Siebel upgrades are very. We will see this if you get an upgrade project. Okay, we'll touch that topic only if if we are doing. I have done 2 upgrade projects. So I know each and everything about upgrades. Okay, but we'll touch that topic only if you get into an upgrade project. So there are so many. One more thing, 6 to 7 was very complex upgrade. We used to call those major upgrades. Okay, minor upgrades are 7.0 to 7.5, 6.0 to 6.3, 6.3 to 6.5. These are called as minor upgrades. So we learned about minor and major upgrades also. I'm writing this point here. We just learned. Okay, so 7.5 to 7.7 is also considered a major upgrade. If not a major, then medium level upgrade. It is quite complex too, because address data is very crucial, and Siebel moved address tables, and it used to be really and Siebel also moved workflows. Workflows are also very important, and Siebel moved workflows also in the tools. Because of that, it's a pretty big change. And 7.5 to 7.7 upgrades are also considered quite this thing. Yes, in fact, when there were so many problems in 7.5, some of the companies they washed before they took. 7.7 was immediately absorbed by many companies, Cisco being one of them, and there are so many other companies which absorbed. Same, all these horizontals were present. They added more verticals. They added a lot of more screens also. They added a lot more functionality also. Okay, so if, for example, in Siebel marketing they added programs and plans. So Siebel marketing became a big hit at this point. Siebel marketing. So they added so many things. Not only Siebel marketing, they added so many things in so many things. All these things is not something that you want to really know, but really you need to know some of the things that I have seen as a buzzword. Like I was talking to this CRM head of this company, as part of my interview, and he was asking me all these questions. He just started talking. The only thing is, when you talk all these things, they know that you're familiar with the tool, with Siebel. So they say, hey, I said, what? He said that, hey, what, programs and plans were added in Siebel 7. I said, no, look, they were actually present in 2002. The only thing is they were not elaborate. So he said, oh, really? Then we started talking. He said, no, I think it was introduced in 2004 only. Then I said, okay, let me check back on the internet and then I'll get back to you. But I think it was added back then. Nobody used them. So I was wrong. I came back to him and he said, you see, it came out to be wrong. But he got impressed, because it's not about knowing the facts. It's about having those thought processes. You see, you think like that. Making sense? So I have seen that. I mean, let's say you say, hey, what, but some of the things are very big. If you say, web client was added in Siebel 6, then nobody's going to like it. If somebody says web client was added, that was the only web-based client in Siebel, then you can counter argue, hey, what, they were in Siebel 5 too, because there were some web clients in Siebel 5. They used to be there. They used to be there, but those were not used much. Web client, right? Mm-hmm. Which can be used over the web, right?
Yeah.
So Siebel used to have web clients in Siebel 6 also. Yes, though it's not known to many people though.
But basically, web client, I thought that, as you have initially you told that for clients only, they have to load everything on the client machine. They cannot be as a server and everybody can approach the server.
Exactly, but in case of
web client, now you have told.
No, in case of installed client,
okay,
that used to be done. In web client, you can directly, without any installation, you can go to Internet Explorer and have a URL, put login ID, password. Mm-hmm. You can just use it. So it used to be a URL. Making sense? Mm-hmm. So it used to be what is a URL, right, Mr. Ken?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
What do we write in the address?
Exactly. No,
but still I am a little bit confused.
You asked me web client and install client differences and all that. For that, you can listen to chapter 4 video. I'm recording this thing also, so that everybody should know. And till you hear that, you cannot really know what is the web client and install client. What is the significance of that? Okay, but at least we know. See, important thing is not to have these facts. Important thing is to have this thought process and at least have an approximate idea, right? Like if you by mistake say, I think horizontals were added in Siebel 5 days. Oh, sorry, verticals were present in Siebel 5 days. No. You're not making a big mistake. You see, I mean, this is not a big mistake. Problem is, actually, good thing is you are having that thought process. Okay. There are not these managers, Siebel managers are not concerned about whether you know it or not. The only thing is they want you to have a mature thought, and I guess you do that, and that's more important here. Now in April, I think April or 2006, or I think somewhere in August or something, I think in April only, they launched Siebel 7.8. Actually, I take it, yes, it was in rather Jan 2006, little bit before or little bit after that. Okay,